anyone your deepest, darkest secret?
Dude, come on. I think you're overreacting a little bit.
You must be so embarrassed.
All right, guys. So, this is my immediate reaction to, or my review, my updated thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy. Once again, written and directed by who is now the co-CEO of DC Studios, James Gunn. You know, the first Guardians of the Galaxy is a movie that's very special to me. I love that movie so much, and I love these characters. So obviously, I have a very strong connection to these characters. I love this movie. And this movie is great. I think this movie is wonderful. Is it as good as the first one? No, I don't think so, but I think it is very much on par, almost on par with the first one. I think it's a very different movie than the first one, which is what I appreciate most about it. It's funnier. I think it's a much more funny movie than the first one. There's a lot more emotion in this one than there was in the first. I like the villain more this time around. I think Ego is a much better villain than Ronan was. I think I think what makes me prefer the first one over the second one is I just think I respond more to the interaction of the characters more in that first movie than, you know, like I respond more to the emotional moments of the first one more than I do with the emotional moments of the second one. You know, if that makes sense. Like there's that scene in the first one where Rocket gives us a hint at his backstory, you know, that where he's drunk and he's like, I didn't ask to get made and put back together all over and over again. Like that hit, like that makes me emotional. That hits me at my core. Or when, you know, Groot is sacrificing himself, you know, and Rocket's got that tear in his eye, you know. And there are moments like that in this film. I mean, obviously, there's that great scene where Yondu and Rocket have their little moment. You know, I know who you are, boy, because you're me. You know, there's great moments like that in this film. But for the most part, I feel like the comedy, for me at least, and I'm sure most people will disagree here, but I feel like the comedy outshines. It's more present in this one than the emotional moments are. The emotional moments really don't hit you until the third act. They're not present, I should say, until the third act of the film. For the most part, it's really, really funny for the first two acts of the film. And then the third act is where the emotional moments of the film start hitting. And I kind of wish that those emotional beats were spread out through the entirety. And that's why I think the first movie's better, is because those emotional beats are more spread out through throughout the film. Whereas, in this film, it's a full-fledged comedy for the first two acts, and then you get some real hard-hitting emotional beats, because then that's where you get, you know, again, the scene with Rocket and Yondu, that moment with Yondu and Rocket. You get that, you know, the reveal of the fact that Ego killed Peter's mom, and then you get Yondu's death, and then the final scene where the Ravager funeral. You get all these really heartfelt, emotional scenes that hit you. And yeah, there's some comedy in that third act. There are some funny moments in that third act. You know, one of my favorites being Mantis at the end going, "It's so beautiful." Yes. And Drax going, "Yes, it's beautiful. Just like you." On the inside. Drax is really funny in this movie. There's another one of my favorite. I hands down, my favorite joke in this entire movie is they're in the ship and they're being chased by the Sovereign. Which, by the way, that's another issue I have. The Sovereign, I think I think you could have cut the Sovereign out of this movie completely, and it wouldn't have affected anything. But it's the moment where the Sovereign are chasing them. They're in that space battle, and Rocket and Peter are arguing over who gets to fly through the asteroid field. And Rocket's like, later tonight you're gonna lay down. You're gonna find something squishy in your pillowcase, and you're gonna be like, "What's this?" And it's gonna be because I put a turd in there. And Peter's like, "You put your turd in my pillowcase and I'll shave you." And he's like, "Oh, it won't be my turd. It'll be Drax's." And then Drax starts laughing. He goes, "I have famously huge turds." I don't know. That's just my favorite part. That's my favorite joke in this entire movie. I don't know why. I found myself laughing so hard at that this time around. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, look, this movie's very funny. It's a very funny movie. And me saying that the comedy overtakes the emotional beats is not me in any way saying, "Oh, well, this movie's not funny at all." No, this movie's very funny. And that's, it's just that I wish, you know what it's like? And I'm not saying it's, and we'll get more into this when we talk about this movie later on. It's got a Thor Love and Thunder approach to it in a way. Thor Love and Thunder, the jokes are hilarious. I think that movie is funny. But they could have reined back on the humor a little bit and given us more emotional beats and given us more of those moments. They could have reined back a little bit on the ha-ha jokes and given us more of those heartfelt, kind of moments. Instead, they leaned a little too much on the, ha-ha, moments. And that's what I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 does as well, And again, not that the jokes aren't funny in Guardians 2. Not at all. The jokes in Guardians 2 are hilarious. I just mentioned a couple of them. They're really funny, but yeah, that's just my issue. But anyway, guys, that will do it for this reaction, guys. Join me tomorrow as I will talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. So this will do it for the reaction, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.